Hey everybody, welcome back to Quali-Tea time, and... Okay, so, obvious part, I'm in the onesie today, and we haven't also, just as a side note, we also haven't really seen the window set in a while, and we have had the occasional outburst of sun. That has happened, but for the very vast majority of the past week plus, it has been raining, and it has been cold, and the amount of coldness to the amount of raining has varied, but for the most part it has just been soaked. There are parts of England that are flooded at this exact moment. Yeah, we haven't had much, and also my office is getting a little on the chilly side. I do have a heater in here that I haven't broken out just yet, but there's basically just the one small radiator, which is conveniently by the window, so... Yeah, I guess I probably should have been over there if I wanted warmth, but the scenery ain't much to look at that stage. So, yeah, that's why we haven't seen that much, and that's why I'm in the onesie, because it's chilly, and if I can avoid plugging something in or turning the heating on for more, then... Hey, efficiency! We did go to the Pride event. You'll note by the fact that there's no massive crack in this lens that we came out okay. There was the odd, like, dissidence, as it were, on the, like, periphery, but there wasn't even so much as, like, a big flag, or a banner, or, like, anything really, like, against the whole event. It kind of helped that it was established as part of, like, one particular event that keeps happening most months anyways, so people had decent reason to be there anyways that didn't happen to involve the Pride section, which is mostly one end. There were Pride flags, we couldn't buy any of them, though, as much as we tried. And there was a lot of people wandering around being very comfortable and being very, very happy and supportive and, like, positive. Yay. I hope to see a lot more of that. It's debatable if the police presence there... It seemed like it was higher than usual. Okay, first thing out of the way, the police presence there seemed to be higher than it usually is at the Orange Pit Market. Okay, fine. I can understand that happening. The police involvement in setting it up, this particular Pride event, I would say that's positive. I'd say that's a good move. It's good to see them getting involved on the ground level to make sure that they're actually being supportive and helpful and in line with what everyone else wants. Good. Police have a horrifying record when it comes to the LGBT community, and marginalized communities in general, because they are frequently a tool of the people oppressing them in the first place, i.e. the government and the vocal majority, doesn't really matter too much at that stage. So... There's a long-standing thing of no cops at Pride. I get that. Seeing a car decorated with a Pride flag and also a transgender flag, and this was just like something that the police brought along? Nice. I would not advise putting that on the streets of Middlesbrough if you value the paint job, but nice to see. But I can understand people having slightly different views of what is functionally a tool of the oppressors being decorated as being, oh yeah, we're helpful and friendly now. I can understand that being awkward for people, okay? Yeah, that's fine. There were drag queens walking around. And I think I remarked at one point to a friend of mine that we met up with that I'm not generally, like, in the same camp as the people who say that Pride isn't appropriate for children, like children shouldn't be around Pride because it's like, oh my, sexuality exists. But one of the drag queens was wearing huge, like, platform heels and a leotard that at the back was basically a thong, and it just so happened that their lower cheeks ended up at about my head height, and I just kept encountering them. So, okay, I might see what you mean. I think kids should still be welcome at Pride, but okay, I can see what you mean there, at the very least. The drag queens were kind of a sore spot for me personally, and I 100% recognize that this is purely a me thing, not like something that should be altered or discarded or whatever across the entirety of the community. This is purely just me. Drag queens personally make me uncomfortable, not because of the transgender relation or the gay relation, more because they most frequently take femme as a caricature. They take it to a massive extreme, and that makes it harder for people like me to do my kind of thing and not get made fun of. They feel like a parody of me, essentially, and I don't like that. It makes me uncomfortable. And I know not everyone gets that feeling. I know this is very much a me thing, and that's fine. So the drag queens made me uncomfortable, but I recognized that drag has been a huge thing in the LGBT community for decades, and we totally shouldn't just scrap it away because I'm feeling uncomfortable and awkward. Fine. Just saying. I would definitely go to another Pride event. I would definitely go to another Pride at the Orange Pit Market. The food was lovely. I had some nice churros and burrito. And then we got home and both promptly pretty much exhausted fell asleep. A little bit awkward for me because then I then had to get up and actually like do a live stream. But it was a fun afternoon. Would recommend. If you happen to have somehow ended up stuck in Middlesbrough in the course of a Pride event, check it out. I would still take every safety precaution you can, but check it out. And it's more or less about the end of the news this week. I do have a haircut appointment, but it's on the day that this video comes out, so no way in heck I'm actually going to be filming that and editing that and getting it out on the same day, so bleh. Maybe next week you'll see something of that. But logically I can't put that into this news segment, so on to the schedule. On Thursday night at 9 PM BST, we have more Midnight Hunting, where we're continuing on the trail of the volcano kaiju that we seem to think we can catch. Then on Friday at 9 PM BST, we have Friday Night with Dead by Daylight. And on Saturday at 9 PM BST with the Carousel. And lastly, on Tuesday at 9 PM, we have more Building Blocks, where we continue on with the Blood Magic mod. And videos you might have missed for the week. We have an episode of Dailies by Daylight where the Demogorgon gets banned from the meat factory, and we have an episode of Just the Basics where it is finally time to embrace the 0.17 version of Factorio, and break a lot of things in the process. And on to the questions. As ever, these are drawn from the comments section of the preceding vlog. Therefore, should you wish to ask me a question, put it in the comments section down below. Our first question comes from Princess Firefly. How hard is it to set up a roleplay? In the case of the June specials are a very special case because they are usually me trying to push my capacities to their utmost zenith. So they tend to involve a lot of like script writing, they tend to involve a lot of set design, they tend to involve a lot of camera work, planning and such, and getting people to play different roles and making sure they're familiar with those roles and know what's happening in each individual scene. And so making a June special is a lot more like actually making a short film. But the roleplays that we've done have been a lot more freeform. We've done Night of Fangs, we've done Chaos-filled episodes, we've done a lot of stuff like that kind of things, and those were more a case of everyone has a mod pack that they're running on, everyone has the same server and the IP of it, everyone's running in the same world, and if we want to cross paths, then we talk ahead of time what that will involve, and then we just throw it together, improv the entire way. Now, that does lead occasionally to some weirdness, to some discontinuity, to some weird things popping up that we didn't quite think ahead of time or, like, understand what was happening at the moment, that kind of thing. But generally with things like Night of Fangs, we had, like, okay, here's the A, the B, the C, the D, and all that, and here's where we start, here's where we end, here's what our characters are doing, here's what they're after, that sort of thing. And okay, let's follow this extremely rough guideline and see where we end up, that kind of thing. It doesn't always work, has worked okay in many regards. There's things in like Yokai Temple that don't really pay off, there's things in Witch in the Woods that don't really pay off. The fact that I managed to dovetail those two together should not be taken as a, like, credit of my writing ability. Nope. But on a scale, I would say the June specials, full-blown filming, like, full-blown filmmaking experience, Night of Fangs, Yokai Temple, Witch in the Woods, those sort of things. Get a bunch of friends who are comfortable with improving in front of a camera, and you can do that quite happily. Lucian V Ghost, round 2, asks, have you considered using the non-binary flag in regards to my nails? It was one of the things I considered. I ultimately went with genderqueer when I was at the Pride event, but non-binary refers specifically to people who are outside of the binary, that being male or female, man, woman, that kind of thing, and yeah, that's not how gender goes. There's a lot of science to say that that's very much not how gender goes. I didn't really want to use the non-binary flag because the first thing that people do when they see the non-binary flag and they recognize it as such is they use neutral pronouns for you, they, them. And I didn't really want to get called they, them, because I'm not terribly comfortable with that, personally. Or at least I didn't want to be getting called they, them by pure strangers on the street. And the other thing is that it felt like that would have been some kind of disservice to actual non-binary people, because I'm not non-binary, I'm very binary, I'm male, I'm a man, but I'm gender non-conforming, which means I don't necessarily look like one. And I didn't really want to, Pride is very much about equality, openness, positivity, that kind of thing, and I didn't really want to be walking around a Pride event feeling like I was stealing somebody's flag. I tried very hard, therefore, ahead of the event to find a gender non-conforming flag, especially one that was relatively well accepted and understood, but I found nothing. The very closest I got was the genderqueer flag, and that was just the one I had to go with. If I was better at nail art, then maybe I would have done like a demi-pan flag as well, but instead I just went with pan, because that's much easier to describe anyways. So yeah, I continue to be on the search for a flag. I would make one, but I feel like that would be a case of just adding an additional competing standard. So yeah, I continue to search, I guess. And that's it for right now. So I hope you've all enjoyed, and I shall as ever catch you all next time.